IISER Bhopal. I am from biological science majors, and by now I hope you people know me. And for people who don't know me, that was my introduction. So I was not active on YouTube since long. I have not made videos on IIT too this year, and sorry for that. I was busy with life, but finally I have adjusted to everything. And today I have invited one special guest. So why to call him a guest? Because he's my senior from IISER Bhopal, and that too from my lab. So when I got to know him, I invited him for you all because he's Marie Curie Fellow, which is a big thing for me, for all of us. So in this video, he will guide all of us through scholarships. I have told him to tell only about scholarships in this video, or else the video will be too long. If you people will need anything else, then I'll tell him, I'll request him. So if he agrees, we can continue with that. So before moving on to the video, let me introduce you all to him. So he has had a very unique and inspiring journey in research. Starting from his school days, when I got to know him and I saw his achievements, I can definitely say that he was never an average student. He was always very excellent and brilliant type of students. So he cleared his, I think, class 12 in 2019. And yeah, after that, he got KVPY Fellowship. And through KVPY Fellowship, he took admission to IISER Bhopal. So let me tell you people that when we were taking admission to IISER, that time IIT was not the only source of admission. Through IIT also admissions happened, but through KVPY and JEE Advanced also admissions happened that time. So he was a KVPY fellow. He never gave IIT. So please do not ask about IIT from him in comment section. So during his IISER days, he has explored a couple of internships, very good one. And he was also doing internship in the lab where I am doing MS thesis in. So yeah, and he has received the MyTech scholarship too. I don't know you people know about it or not. And through that, he got to work at McMaster University in Canada. So yeah, he was always some outstanding student, I think. And for his MS thesis, he went to that university again. And he worked on zebrafishes, screening of zebrafishes and all. So that time he did not had any scholarship and he funded himself. He worked at some restaurant, I think, and yeah, to support himself. And that shows the real determination. And that is not an easy job. It's not just about job. It's about our thinking. And I really appreciate him for that. Now, in 2025, he got his PhD, and for that, he got Marie Curie Fellowship. I don't know if you people know about that fellowship or not, but it's very lucrative and a big one. And for any researcher, I think it will be a dream to get that fellowship, which he has got. Now, why you should watch this video? Because he will tell us about fellowships, and without fellowships, I don't think we all can survive anywhere outside India. So he will tell us about some scholarships, and he will tell about Marie Curie Fellowship in detail, and he will tell us about the application process, how you have to apply, who all are eligible for that scholarship, what are the perks of that scholarship, how much you will be paid for that, what all are covered, do we need to pay anything from our pocket, and some of the general questions which we people ask him. So he will tell about that. Maybe he can tell about his life also. And yeah, very important questions. Key from that scholarship, can we save or not? So he'll focus on that also. So now I think I have talked enough about him. So let's start with the video. And I have already given his contact in description. So if you people want to contact him, he is very generous. He's very helpful and also approachable. So if you people want to talk to him, you can mail him, but please do not disturb him for your silly questions. He is a researcher and we should respect him for that. So if you have any serious question about applying and all, you can contact him. Just do not spam him with your silly doubts. And I did not tell his name as of now. So his name is Arpan. He was 2 years senior to me at IISER Bhopal. He has also done his BSMS from IISER Bhopal. And now he is doing his PhD at Budapest from ELTE. So that's all. Now please welcome that little boy who is my friend for this video. And yeah, watch this video till end and listen carefully.
So thank you, Anjali, for the introduction. I think I'll just here focus on a few scholarships and mostly the scholarship I'm currently having, which is the Marie Curie Scholarship. I think most people already know about the ones that are available like across Europe. I did not really apply in the US, but in the Europe you have the DAAD, which is given in Germany. Also you have the Erasmus Mundus, which also have like a doctorate scholarship. It differs. You can go to different countries and the requirement different ones. You can have the Rhodes scholarship, which is in UK especially. I think it's a very elite scholarship that you can go to Oxford or something, but it's very very rare. It's very hard to get as well. There are also like country specific ones where like there is Austria specific one, or there is like Switzerland specific one. The Swiss government excellence scholarship is like another one that is given only to do your PhD in the Switzerland. But today I think I'll just talk about the Marie Curie Scholarship, which is also known as MSCA, which stands for Marie Sklodowska-Curie Actions. It falls under, I think it falls under the category of the general PhD in the STEM, and it's not limited to any specific country. So you will have like you'll do a PhD throughout Europe. Most of the time, like a single position is related to multiple countries, and I'll talk about more later. But just for the introduction, it is one of the most prestigious scholarship that you can get in Europe, and as far as I know, this pays like good amount of money for doing your PhD, so like you don't have to really worry about like your financial status if you have this scholarship and you want to pursue your PhD in Europe. Also, this is a 3-year fully funded PhD program, so you don't have to spend a lot of time doing your PhD as well if you get this one. It's a little bit hard to finish your PhD in 3 years, but I mean definitely you can. Most people usually like if you need, I mean you need to publish papers and stuff, so most of the time it goes until like 3.5 up to 4 years, but I think that's a totally reasonable time frame for a PhD. Most times it is in the STEM field, so I have not seen any like language fields or anything in under this scholarship. But in the STEM field, you can diversify a lot. So it's not only limited to physics, chemistry, math, biology. You can have combinatorial subjects. So for example, there are many positions on like material physics, or like there can be positions on computational biology, computational chemistry, like bioinformatics. So it's very diverse field, so you don't need to be like very specific on a very specific topic. So they give like generally to many streams. And also most of the time they work in a consortium basis, so like a single project can have multiple partners doing multiple different things. So not necessarily that like a single project always be like only biology or only chemistry. So often a project links, I mean often a project has like people who is expert in maybe designing materials or like synthesizing some chemicals, whereas the other partners do the screening or those kind of studies. So like one single like consortium can hire very diverse talents to fulfill their project goals.
So, Arpan, sorry to interrupt, but can you tell us what are consortiums for which you are talking about?
The consortiums are like a group of PhD positions that are linked together. So usually how the applications happens is like usually like 4 or 5 professors come together, or maybe more. Like nowadays usually like 10, 11, 12. I mean I think there is, I don't know the maximum number, but usually like less than 15. They come together and then they decide on a project goal like overall, and then they break it down into small deliverables, and then they write like a draft proposal and they apply for the grant. And once they get the grant, each individual professor can hire a student under him or her, and they become the Marie Curie Fellow. I mean, they get funded by the grant. So like you don't need to individually write any proposal or anything for your PhD, but rather it's written by your professor, and the professor gets the fund, and then you are hired in that position, hence you get the fund. That's how it works. More often than not, a single consortium has positions in like different countries and different universities. For example, mine has like in ETH Zurich, one position is in ETH Zurich, one is in University of Rome, one is in University of Copenhagen, one is in Uppsala, Sweden. So like it's really spread out throughout the Europe, and by virtue of having connected to this network, you can jump like from a few positions. So usually they have like something called secondments, where you will spend like maybe 3 months or 4 months of your PhD in two different partner positions. So like effectively you get experience of being in that country and then working with a different group as well when doing your PhD. There is no application fee of this application, so you don't have to worry about paying anything. I mean, more often than not, for US projects or like US PhD applications, you have to pay some fees, but Europe usually don't require any kind of payment. So like the Mercury Fellowship applications, the position applications are completely free of charge. You can just fill up online portals and then that should be it. And I think that's about like a brief introduction. Additionally, like it's not only limited to academia. So like sometimes, I mean, in my consortium as well, there are positions which are held by associated partners, which are most of the time companies. So in my consortium, there is AstraZeneca and there is Novo Nordisk. I think if you know the names, they are very big pharma companies. And as our project is leaning towards that, so they have partnered with this consortium, and some of us has internships, as in not an internship but like secondments with them. So like they will go work in their facility and things like that. So like you will effectively get like maybe 3 months of industry experience as well when working in a PhD position. So that's really influential, and you can decide like what environment you prefer more, or like it's a good thing you get that opportunity when doing your PhD.
Arpan, can you tell us how did you know about this scholarship? And yeah, you can also tell us about the eligibility of this of getting this scholarship.
I knew about this one like a long time ago because my brother is also a Marie Curie Fellow, and he did his PhD from TUM Germany. I think everyone knows that Technical University of Munich. It's a famous one in Germany. And then he is now a permanent resident in Germany, and he also works in a biopharma company which does like compound screening and those kind of things, and he's appointed as a senior scientist now. It's been I think 5 years after his PhD is over. So I knew about it for a very long time, but for you, most of the time there is no specific deadline. So like the project come in a rolling basis whenever there is a like project granted, and then they start looking for people. So like around the year there are positions opening and closing. So if you just go to the IISER, or if you just go to the find a PhD, nature careers, or academic positions, so these are the websites that you can look for the open Marie Curie positions. They usually, I mean, you will see like they in the description they have like, okay, this is a Marie Curie position they stated. And you can also filter by the funding type. You can select Marie Curie, so like you will only see the Marie Curie position. So it's really easy to find the open Marie Curie calls, and that's how, I mean, I applied through all of them through the portals. I think Anjali can link the websites so that you can go and check them. It's really nice portal. You can easily filter by your topic, by your interests, and there are lots of filters that you can apply, and then finally you can find the positions that might interest you. About the eligibility, it's really simple. So the first criteria is you cannot already have a PhD degree. As in, like, you cannot have a PhD in chemistry and now you want to do a PhD in physics, then you cannot apply for a Marie Curie Fellowship, because it's just like for new coming PhD student. It's not for someone who already holds one and want to do another PhD for some reason. I mean, I don't think that concerns most of us. I mean, very few people I know want to do a second PhD after they're done with one. So the other criteria they have is, it's a little bit nuanced, but you cannot apply to a university for the Marie Curie position if you have stayed in the country of that university for more than 12 months in the last 3 years. Yeah, so that's a bit complicated. So for example, I'll just break it down. For example, you are doing your master's, even you are an Indian citizen, but you are doing your master's in maybe now I cannot say UK because UK is not part of the Schengen anymore. So maybe you're doing your master's in Germany in an LMU university, very nice one. So if there is another Marie Curie position open in another university of Germany, maybe one is open in Potsdam. Maybe Potsdam University have a position, Marie Curie position, then you cannot apply for it because you have stayed for more than 12 months in Germany in the last 3 years. So that's how the eligibility is defined. I think this is a very like good rule. Why did they apply it? Because so that like professors who have someone foreign under them cannot appoint them as a Marie Curie fellow directly. So more I mean most of the time people prefer to hire people they know already from their known fields, and that happens like maybe you are working with a professor for like the last 12 months or 15 months for a master's project, and the professor gets a Marie Curie grant. He will be very tempted to take the one in who is already doing the work, knows the work, and then like just it will be easier for them to award someone they know already because they know how they work and stuff. But that will limit the reach of the project. So like if everyone thinks like that, okay, it's easier to hire the known people, then it's really difficult for someone new or like someone abroad to get in. And the whole purpose of this Marie Curie is to give you the mobility to let researchers travel around and explore new areas, explore new environments. And that's why they give like lots of fellowships, lots of allowances, not fellowships. So they made this rule that if you have stayed in the country for at least for 12 years at most, and then you cannot apply a Marie Curie position in the same country, but you can apply in any other countries under the same consortium. That won't be a problem, but you cannot apply in the same country. That these two are the main criteria. Other than that, they don't have any official CPI cutoff or anything, so like you are eligible to apply.
Can you brief us about the process of it?
Talking about the process, I think Marie Curie offers doctoral and postdoctoral fellowships. The postdoctoral one is more complicated because in postdoctoral you have to actually find like a domain you want to work with, and then you have to find a professor in that domain, and then you have to make a proposal yourself, like a research proposal. You have to write the research proposal, and then like just connecting with the professor, you have to apply together. Okay, like I have this topic, I planned these things, and I think this is a very good area to explore, and I have this professor in this host university who is willing to host me, and then just can you give me the funding for it? So that's the postdoctoral fellowship application, which is more complicated because it takes a lot of time to figure out your own project and then writing a grant proposal. It's very complicated. But for the doctoral one, you don't need to do much. The professor already had the plan, and then they applied already, and they already have the grant. So like you just have to apply to the professor. That are the open positions they advertise on the websites I mentioned before. What usually they ask for is they ask for your CV, of course. They ask for an SOP, and like just stating why you are interested in the position. Usually they require 2 recommendation letters, and both of them must come from like a faculty, not like your like postdoc supervisor or anything. It has to be like a faculty position, I believe. They prefer at least. Some of them ask for your master's thesis if you have one, so that's always comes in handy. And other than that, you have to just fill up the online application. They have portals. Every university has a different portal. They will have like a different set of questions, but you have to just fill in the details and then submit it. And after you submit, if they just evaluate the applications, usually within like after the deadline, usually within 2 weeks, 2 weeks and 2.5 weeks, usually they get back for interviews if you are like picked from the bunch. There is like a bit of competition, but when you get picked for the interview, so there are usually 2 to 3 interview stages. So the first one is will be like a very simple one where they just want to see you and then see like, okay, like if you are actually interested in the position, and then like if you are like if they can take you to the actual interview stage where they will involve more people. So that's like just a chit chat where they might ask you like very basic questions about your interest and then what you did in your MS, and that's like maybe a 10-minute 15-minute talk just to get to know you. And if you pass that stage, then you go to the main interview stage where there will be more people from maybe his or her department, or maybe there can be people from the same consortium, like at least like 3-4 people usually take part in the interview. It's not very difficult. They won't usually not ask many technical questions, but it's more about showing that you are actually interested in the field, and you also have like the basics, and whatever you did your MS thesis, you actually understood it and liked it, and like typical researcher stuff. And once you clear that one, the third one is most of the time optional, but some universities really prefer it because, as you know, the laws in the European Union is very strict about hiring. So like once you hire someone, it's very hard to fire them. So the professors usually are very cautious about hiring someone because if they hire the wrong person, they're stuck with him for like 3 4 years. That's why they usually, I mean, they call for like a on-site interview where they will pay you for the flights and all, and you will be flying in the destination, whatever the host university is, wherever the host university is, and then you will like maybe give them a presentation and then have lunch with them or dinner with them or something, just to let you know how the work environment is and if you like it. And you will just interact with a few like maybe lab PhDs or like lab masters or postdoc students, and maybe they will evaluate you, just ask, I mean, they won't ask you like complicated questions, but just to see you like if you're actually interested in the position or not in person. So like they just want to see you in person. That happens for like many positions I know, but it's not a mandatory one. I didn't have that for myself, but I know people who had it. But there is no written test, everything is based on just interviews. So like if you can ace the interviews, then definitely the position is yours.
And what all things are covered in this scholarship? Did you pay anything from your pocket?
Talking about costs, I think this is one of the fellowship that covers everything, so you don't have to really worry about it, like I said before. So starting with the visa, your visa application costs and whatever costs are associated with it will be fully reimbursed. Your flight from your country to the destination country will be covered as well. Even they pay you for the travel from the airport to the university or like your accommodation. They also pay for the maybe taxi if you use it. If you just submit the receipt, they will also recover, I mean just cover you that cost as well. So like they're very generous with the cost coverage. But the costs are only covered post joining. So like you have to pay initially for the flight, you have to pay initially for like the things that I mentioned, like the visa and things. And once you sign the positions document, like once you are officially employed, then they will just like request the money from the grant and then they will give it back to you. So like the money is not paid before and the money only paid after you sign the contract. I mean, come in person, sign the contract and then join the position. I think that's fair because otherwise like someone can take the money and then never come, so then they will be in trouble. In Europe, most PhD positions are considered as jobs, so you don't get a stipend, but rather you get a salary. And as usual with salaries, there are benefits and drawbacks. So you have to pay taxes, and I mean many European countries has very high tax. So like it ranges from like maybe 30 to 35% taxes. So your whatever salary you get will be taxed. They give you enough salary, but like the salary will be taxed. The final figures vary a lot because different countries have different tax rates. But I can assure you it will be enough for living a comfortable life and beyond. You can even expect to save maybe 25 to 45%, but that depends on your own lifestyle. And also as an employee, you get the standard employment benefits like the health benefits or like paid holidays or like the employment protections, and those things come with any employments here. So like those are just the part of the being employed in Europe. I will go to the specifics of the what are the categories that you get paid for. So the first of all comes the living allowance. The living allowance is defined as like it's just the main salary, which is about 3,400 euros per month. But this is a generalized figure. This is pre-tax figure, and this is always not 3,400. It gets multiplied by a country coefficient. They have a logic behind it. For example, if in the same consortium, maybe I am employed in Hungary, and then my consortium partner is employed in Switzerland. Switzerland now, as you know, is very expensive. Like the lifestyle in Switzerland is very expensive, whereas Hungary's lifestyle is not so expensive. So like if they pay both of us 3,400, then I mean the guy in the Switzerland will have to beg for money when I can live like a very lavish life. So which is not fair, because we are part of the same consortium, same project, same. I mean that's not fair. So that's why they multiplied by a country coefficient, which becomes higher than 1 or lower than 1 depending on the country's economic status. So I mean the final figure will vary based on your country, and on top of that this will be taxed. So the final figure will depend on a lot of factors, but usually, like I said, it's comfortable enough. On top of this, you also, I mean, this is the per month, the living allowance, and also you get per month mobility allowance, which is meant for like just because you have moved from another country to a new country, so like you need to adjust, you need to like, I mean, stay well and stuff. So like they just call it mobility allowance, which is targeted towards it. It is for your private use. So this is not meant for covering any expenses related to project or like moving while you're having like conferences or anything. So this money is yours. You can use it on your food, you can use it on your groceries, you can use it on your, I mean, staying in an apartment or anything. This money comes to you, which is about 600 euros a month, and this is fixed. This does not vary from country to country. Next comes there is a family allowance. So if you have a wife or like if you have family living with you, then you get 660 euros additional per month. But I mean, you need to have like a document for that. Like you have to show that you have wife and you are living together. It's not like you can have a girlfriend and then call it in and then get the money. So no, you have to have legal documents of marriage for getting the family allowance. Then they also have additional ones, which is I think long-term leave allowance or something, which comes into play if you have to take like paternity leave or maternity leave during your PhD. So like you get paid the usual amount, and I think I don't know what the exact figures are, but they're like a legal document that you can check, which says what are the criteria and how much you get for it. And there is also special need allowance if you have any like physical, mental, intellectual or sensory impairments. So they are very generous with their payments. The salaries arrive on time because they are salaries. I mean, I never had missed salary ever. And there is additional money which is kept for like conferences or covering the like maybe poster printing costs or maybe lab materials that you need to buy, that comes to the lab that you are associated with, I mean the professor. So I mean it won't happen that they will ask you to buy something with your own money that you get for your living allowance, or like you get it for your family allowance, or you get it for your like mobility allowance. So no, those money is yours to keep. That's for your personal use, and the university gets money for like any kind of conference and those kind of things. So maybe if you need like if you are working in bioinformatics or like even wet lab, you need maybe a good computer to analyze your data, or like make like design stuff or like making posters and stuff. So I mean all my consortium partners got like a MacBook from their university to do their work related stuff. So like all of them got like a work MacBook, and they also get like different, I mean any additional costs are covered related to your work. So like you won't have to spend anything for your work from your own pocket. That's a big thing. And what else? I think this is a good opportunity for anyone who wants to do a PhD in Europe, because the positions are, I mean, opens up all the time. There is no like fixed deadline that, oh, okay, I have missed one, so like now I have to wait for another year or anything. So like the positions keep coming. So like you can keep checking if there are new positions. I used to do this for like 4 or 5 months, regularly checking if there are new positions. And although it's competitive, it's not like extremely difficult to get, like the Rhodes scholarship, which is like given to maybe 5 people on earth or something. So there are lots of open projects. So like Marie Curie funds a lot of projects. They have a big budget. So I applied for about 7 Marie Curie positions when I was applying for PhDs, and I was offered 2 positions. Of course, I picked one, and I had to reject the other. But like it's a good ratio, I believe. And you don't have to have any like published paper from your BSMS or anything. So there is not a lot of requirement or pressure on your head to apply on this. And it's mostly interview based. So like if you're loving your topic and then you know like what you are doing during your MS or have enough confidence, then this will be a piece of cake. And this is also not limited to just the physics, chemistry, math, biology, or those kind of domains. You can work inter-domain. You can switch fields like I did. I switched from wet lab, complete wet lab biology to bioinformatics position. So like there is always opportunity to like explore different fields, and you also get to work on maybe multiple projects together, having secondments, and then like being in different countries, explore it, and you also get the industry experience, which can be very valuable moving forward in your journey. And you don't have to write any proposals, so like it takes usually like relatively less time to apply. It's not as involved as like writing your own proposal, and there is no application fee. So I think this is like a good one. If you want to check, then you can check out the websites that Anjali has linked below, where you can just see whatever is available in your field. I think this will be very helpful for you. Thank you.
So thank you, Arpan. This video was really very informational and people will be benefited from this. I am sure about it. I myself will, I think, and many people from IISER will. I think everyone from across India will. And a huge thank you for coming to my channel and guiding my audience. Once again, I want to tell you people that I have already put his contact in description. You can go and watch, and I have already put the links in description. So if you want to apply, you can go to my description box and check. Yeah, just do not spam him with your silly doubts. If you have a genuine one, you can definitely contact him. I have given his contact in description. So that's all. I hope that this video helped you people. If yes, you can like my video for sure. Thank you.